Welcome back to Fine by Design podcast. I'm your host, Janna Short, and today we're here with a very special guest. Dr. Tonnie Lawler. And she is special because she's my daughter. And I'm super excited to talk to her today. She's a sleep expert. I know she doesn't like to use the word expert, but she is. That's what she's been doing for how many years?
25, 26.
26 years in
Oh,
sleep. She has a clinic out in Palm
Rancho
Springs.
Mirage.
Rancho Mirage.
Mm.
And it's called Sound Sleep Center. And you guys can find that on the website. But she's going to talk to us all about sleep. I want to know, first of all, why is your clinic different than other sleep clinics?
Because I don't go off of insurance. I have my own rules, which gives the patients more options to treat their sleep disorder.
And it's kind of like a concierge service, correct?
Yeah, I
Wh-
like to do that for the patients. They like it.
What does that mean, concierge service?
I go the extra mile for the patients. They can call me after hours if they need assistance with something, I'll go to their house if they need me to go there. Not everybody can make it to the clinic. I just try to give them that extra care that they can't normally get in a hospital setting.
You know, Dr. Tani, we were talking earlier today about some of the things we could talk to you about. And one of them was the myth behind sleep banking, which I had never heard of before. I think that's when people think they can sleep extra on a Friday and catch up for the week.
Yeah, I don't know who came up with that, but that doesn't exist. You can get sleep debt, but you can't bank your sleep. You can't save up on sleep for the weekend. It just doesn't work that way.
How do people know if they have a sleep problem? Like a lot of people, like they've been sleeping like that most of their lives. They don't even realize they have a sleep problem.
Not everybody knows that they have a sleeping disorder. They end up going to the hospital and getting diagnosed with something secondary that's related to a sleep disorder. A lot of the physicians are sending their patients now to get sleep tests, get screening to rule out sleep apnea and other sleeping disorders that can be a contributor to that. So,
So if I'm struggling with a sleeping disorder and I'm not aware of it, what are some of the symptoms that I could recognize that I should see a doctor about?
daytime fatigue, weight gain, mind fog, um, obviously snoring is one. Um, just fragmented sleep, waking up a lot during the night, using the restroom a lot. It doesn't matter if you're older. I just use restroom because of my age. A lot of it's related to sleep apnea, believe it or not. So it's nice to get everything ruled out if you're just not getting enough sleep. Um, there's a lot of stuff that you
What's
can
the
look at.
difference between having a sleep maybe disorder or having sleep apnea? Because I know sleep apnea could be detrimental to your health.
Sleep apnea is when you're not breathing at night, and sleep disorders can mean anything. I mean, you could have restless legs, REM behavior disorder, insomnia, the list goes on. So, but sleep apnea specifically is when you're not breathing at night when you're sleeping.
Wow. You know, this is so funny, but a lot of people who are struggling with sleep don't realize that there's a pattern that they could get into that helps create a better night's sleep. So I want to talk to you a little bit about building a sleep pattern for our listeners. How do I build a sleep pattern that's going to help me get better night's sleep? And if I am getting a better night's sleep, how am I noticing the difference?
I think if you're having a sleep issue, before you can get into any patterns, we should definitely look into the possibility of something interrupting your pattern first. So anybody that comes and sees me, I rule that out, and then we work on patterns and their sleep behavior and all that stuff, and just make it unique to them.
So for a client that comes to see you, what does that mean? So I'm struggling with sleep. Maybe I have insomnia and I'm just not able to go to sleep, or I keep waking up in the middle of the night. I can't go back to sleep. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go see Dr. Tony because I already ruled out sleep apnea.
You
And
ruled out sleep apnea.
yes,
Okay.
because I think people should rule out sleep apnea right away because that could be life threatening.
Yeah.
And so once you rule out sleep apnea and it's still you're struggling with sleep, and so they come see this beautiful concierge girl who's got this incredible clinic and is educated for the past 25 plus years. And I come see you and you're holistic.
Yeah.
What does that look like? Is there extra testing? How does
Yes.
that work?
Um, I do like to test for magnesium, cortisol levels, and melatonin. I do testing for that, and a lot of times there's patients that don't need melatonin. They just take it because it's supposed to help them fall asleep. But if you already have enough melatonin in your system, you're going to wake up feeling groggy. It's not going to help. So I like to test their magnesium and the cortisol because that's a big contributor to sleep. And then there's some natural remedies that you can do to help aid that. And then as far as like insomnia, we like to rule out, is it insomnia? Is it a circadian rhythm disorder? Because there's a lot of things that get mistaken. It's like almost insomnia is this universal word that's used. So we just dissect what type of issue that you're having. And I do practice BBTIs, which is a form of cognitive behavioral therapy for patients that have insomnia or sleeping disorders.
I know I felt like when I was in last time I visited you, one of your clients was there and was talking about like your God because they can actually sleep through
Yeah.
the night, and it made such a difference in their life, especially
Mm,
as you get older. Like honestly, you require better sleep than when you're a kid.
mm.
One of the things I like to tell people about is when you have a surgery or you're sick, what's the first thing they tell you? Go home, go to bed, and
Yes.
rest.
Yeah.
While we're sleeping, this was so fascinating when you talked about this to me. When you're sleeping, your body is literally repairing, and it goes through different phases at different stages
Mhm.
of your sleep pattern. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, there's your transitional stage of sleep. That's a big stage of sleep that happens when we're driving because you're not quite asleep yet. Your eyes can even still be open. You don't spend a lot of time in there because it's a transitional stage. And then there's stage two. Most of us spend a lot of our time in there as we get older. The young adolescents have more stage three deep sleep. And then you're going to hit REM. You want to hit REM sleep where you dream every 90 minutes in a healthy pattern, at least 3 times a night. So it's important that you have enough sleep and a good amount of it to get to those stages of sleep. If it's interrupted, you're not going to have the amount of stages of sleep that you need for the full night, for your body recovery and for you cognitively. You start to decline and you can have a lot of health issues mentally and physically.
One of the things I love about you is that you write for the magazine. You write for Best Holistic Life magazine. She has a columnist there, and she talks about myths, a lot of myths behind having a glass of wine before you go to bed to help you sleep, or gummies, or you did a really great article on teas, soothing teas to sleep. Tell us a little bit, and let's dismantle some of the myths, like the myths about if I drink, it'll relax me. I'll be able to fall asleep. I'll get a good night's sleep. That is bunk. Nope.
Yeah, that's short-lived. It could definitely help knock you out, but it's not gonna give you a good night rest. You're gonna wake up feeling like crap, and you're gonna have fragmented sleep during the night. Definitely not a good idea to do nightcaps. And there are certain teas that you can use, but there's only certain ones that are more effective than others. Not any type of tea that says sleepy time on it is gonna be a universal choice, but there are some teas that I put in the article that are helpful to use at night. And then what are some of the other myths?
Mouth taping.
Oh, I have mixed feelings about that. I don't have a problem with mouth taping, but you can't just mouth tape somebody that has like GERD.
Right.
That would not be a good idea. People that have congestion issues, sometimes people that have sinus drip, that they go to sleep at night and all of a sudden they're congested if they lay a certain way. Just I don't think mouth tape is for everybody, but I mean, if you have like a CPAP or your mouth breathing and you need something other than a chin support, I guess you could try it. There's different types of mouth tapes that are safe. There's even some that have like vents. Not safe for everybody. Like obviously, if you don't want to have mouth tape on your face if you have GERD, but I'm just saying like for somebody that doesn't have any of those symptoms, you could try some of the ones that have the vents. And then there's these crisscross ones that I would feel more comfortable with than this one that's black and it says, I think what does it say? Hostage tape. That's what it's called. And it's a yellow packet and it's got a guy like this, like he's I don't know, but anyways, maybe not all the tape.
Trying to think of some of the other fun myths that we were learning about from you. I do know that she does talk about certain things like turning off your electronics a certain amount of time before you go to bed.
No.
I've been really blessed with late sleep. I go to sleep, I'm out.
Yeah, I know.
I'm out.
Not
I
ever
sleep.
not everybody's that
I,
lucky,
I'm
so
like, go to sleep, close my eyes, I'm out 2 times a year. So this must be a circadian rhythm thing. 2 times a year, I struggle with going to sleep. And it's like I'm up till 4 a.m. in the morning. I finally get up, I start cleaning or doing dishes or something. And then, finally around 6 o'clock, I can sleep for 2 hours, but it only happens like twice a year. So I figure it must be something in my rhythm got off because the next day I'm so tired that I just go right back to sleep and get right back in the pattern.
Well, as long as you don't stay in that
Yeah.
pattern, that'd be a problem.
So I travel a lot. I know
Yeah.
a lot of people that listen to the show are travelers. And if they're traveling and there's a clock now you can get on an app
Mm,
that is supposed to help you with having jet lag
mhm.
and you prep before. What kind of things would you tell people who get, because a lot of them just get melatonin and they start loading up on melatonin.
That timing thing is really good. I have done that, and then also light therapy. There's little lights you can buy on Amazon. A lot of websites have these lights just to kind of help your circadian rhythm get back on track.
There's another thing that I'm seeing on TikTok everywhere, and it's the thing that pulls your nose apart.
That helps.
Does that really?
Uh, with what? Snoring or sleep
It's
apnea?
supposed to help you breathing because it opens up the airways so you're
Yeah,
more
it
of a
helps with
nose
that.
breather,
It helps with that.
but doesn't help with sleep.
Well, I mean, if you're not breathing and it's disruptive, then it would help with your sleep if that's the only issue. Yeah.
So I guess maybe I don't understand what a CPAP does then.
A CPAP basically is an abbreviation. It's really is continuous positive air pressure, CPAP.
Uh-huh.
It's like a fan, basically. It's not like a crazy science that is turned on and it blows right into your airway to keep it open. I know it sounds horrible, but it is the most effective treatment if you could use it. So,
And
and
that's
that's why a lot of people come to me because, like, I'm not using that. I don't care how effective it is. I'd rather die. And it's like, okay, we have other options right this way. And we give them those options. We wanna make sure that they have treatment plans.
I could not have something strapped to my face to sleep in.
Most people can't. And I'm an expert in that area, and I help people with different mask styles and the sweet spots on the pressures, and I help them get through compliance and really get in a good algorithm, but a lot of people just don't wanna wear it, or they just can't, breathe with those things on or find a mask that really fits their facial structure properly. So there are other alternatives. They're just, not approved through insurance. And those that are, you have to use the CPAP first. It's just like a lot of is if you don't go in through insurance, there's other ways that you can have choices.
Super exciting.
Yeah.
I want to talk a little bit about how people what they can find on your website because you do work with people remotely.
Yes.
So you don't have to go to her clinic, but you do work with people remotely. So let's talk about how that process works for people.
Okay. Um, for people that come and see me, a lot of them have issues with their pressures or their CPAP machines. They have to meet compliance requirements and they're travelers, snowbirds. They can't make it into the clinic. And so they have 90 days to meet compliance requirements and I help them, basically find a pressure that's comfortable for them to be able to sleep through the night and a proper mask. Since the pandemic, they've come up with apps that you can actually fit remotely these patients, which is very helpful. And then I've been looking at patients' facial structures for so many years. I can kind of listen to them and see what's going on here and how their sleeping style is to find the right mask for them. And aside from, the CPAPs and the masks and all that stuff, we also discuss options. And I have a lot of connections with those options to help get them started. We do home sleep tests remotely. You need to come in for that. We just send it to the house, have them tested. Um, I go over the results with them, and then we find a treatment plan. What works best for them? They feel comfortable. I want them to feel comfortable telling me outright, like I don't see myself making a long term commitment to an apparatus on my face. I don't care how comfortable it is. I don't care what pressure you set it at. I just want something to be able to treat my sleep apnea and not have to, make a big thing about it. And there are options. Some of them aren't as effective, but they're pretty like 80%. It's better than zero and not treating it at all. Is I do a lot of educations with the patient or education with the patients, just explaining every little detail. Like this is what this does, this is what this treatment option does, and this is how effective it is, and just really let the patient get involved with their treatment plan, and they that way they feel comfortable making the choice that's best for them. I'm just like a leader. I'm a guide. That's it.
I love it. Let's tell everyone how they can find your website.
Okay, well, you can go to soundsleepconsultants.com. You can go through the magazine. I have a QR code. I have um, social websites, sound sleep consultants. You just type it in, it pops right up. You could call that number, make an appointment remotely. I think I'm accessible, unless you have any better ideas that I'm missing.
No, you have like, it's great. By the way, you guys just and I don't know all the numbers on this, but sleep has become so widely studied that they're finding that they do it before surgeries now for anesthesia. They are connecting it to a lot of autoimmune diseases. They are connecting it to a lot of cardiac issues. So I think it's really important that if you are not getting good sleep, that you speak to your doctor first, rule out anything that could be life-threatening, and then maybe speak to a sleep consultant like Dr. Tani.
Thank you.
Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.